75. Not bad, 3 over par. Playing from the tips. And the second lowest score was a 76. That's by Mike Mento. And in the spring of the year, we'll be taking 6 fellows down for the straight state qualifiers. This is the bigger picture. How you are as athletes, what you do on the field, what you do as a team, what you do in a classroom, how you go ahead and you make your parents feel. The fact that what you do is important to this district. When you're out in the district and you're wearing a uniform, the people that pay the taxes are proud of what you do. You heard me say, I never won anything. They did it. And I couldn't be any prouder because our program was like 50 plus. And we kept them all, and they'll be coming back. So I'd like to take the time now to give out some awards. Adam Wisely. And Jason Wisely. You can tell they're twins. Later on, see me in the back. Tyler Du Bois. Corey Piper. Ryan Smiley. Zach Winnick, no. Ben Cummings with an S. There was a Cumming, and then there's a Cummings with an S. Lucas Cavallo. Oops, sorry about that. As I said, this fellow had the second lowest score. He and Joey both shot 37 all year long. That's 1 over par. And wherever we played, this goes to Mike Mento. Last but not least, and don't go away, this is to Joe Petrin. Hang on. North Syracuse Central Schools, we'd like to have that put in a showcase.
This is Section 3 champion, co-player of the year, Joey Petrin.
Congratulations.
Does he get one? Does he have it already?
No, and Joe, this is for you.
Congratulations, golf team. If you'll head out to the foyer, you'll get your picture taken. Thank you. Girls varsity tennis, Coach Carey.
In a nice way, I'm sure. Evening. I'll try and keep it short and sweet. I'd like to recognize the girls varsity tennis team. Quick summary, team finished 7-4, second place in the CNYCL League. And we had a number of players who have been recognized by the All League of CNYCL. But I'm really most proud of the dual combination, that dynamic thing when you can get it right both in the classroom and on the sports field. I'd like to call up the following players, and if you'd come as I call you, receive a certificate, that'd be just great. The players would be Jessica Francati, Selena Tavan, Kristen Inthirikot, only took me 3 years, Rochelle Brousseau, Megan Tully, Margaret Wood, Hannah Simmons, Kathy Wynn, Brooke Murphy, Bethany Wicks, Stephanie Reynolds, and Brittany Wilson. And I should say that overall, the GPA for this group among the top 9 was 94.65, and of the entire 12 of 16 players that qualified, it was 93.54. They did a terrific job.
Okay, let's hear it one more time for the girls varsity tennis. Next is boys varsity volleyball, coached by Mr. Lucia. Yes.
All right, thank you very much. I'm Mike Lucia, the varsity coach for the team, and I work in the athletic office in the afternoon with Mr. Benarski, and that's why I have no idea why we didn't go first, but I'll address that with him tomorrow. The guys in front of you, if you'd ask them, did you accomplish all your goals on the court, they may say no. But if you ask them, could you have given any more in practice? Could you have given any more in a match? Could you have given any more in any volleyball activity that you have done throughout the course of the fall? They'd all say no. And that's the honest-to-God truth. And their parents know it, and they know it. I've never had a team coaching 3 sports for 15 years. I've never had a team that I could say that for. They gave absolutely every single thing that they could have at every single thing that they did, and it obviously transcended into the classroom, which is why we are proud to keep that streak going since 2005. Your left to right is Sean Corbus, Justin Collins, Talon Waldron, Josh Rodriguez, Aaron Goodell, Morgan Austin, who led the team with a 97-plus average, and Aaron Story. I like to keep things moving. Thank you, and next, Mr. Benarski will speak about something.
Congratulations. Next is girls varsity volleyball. And what's interesting about this team, for the first time, every single player is on the Scholar Athlete team. Sorry. Coach DeHay.
All right, my speech is over now. Thank you for having us. As he mentioned, first time in my career here, and I'm not sure how long before that, all 18 of our players made Scholar Athlete this year. I mean, that's one of the things we really set. We have our volleyball goals, of course, every season. But one of the things they talk about is becoming a Scholar Athlete team and being a student athlete. And it's very evident with this group that they were students who were also athletes. And it's I'm a big believer that if you do well in the classroom, it carries over onto the court, the field, or whatever sport you're playing. And it definitely has with us in the last few years in the level of play that we've had. So before, actually, I'll do my Our team average with all 18 players was 93.47. And our top GPA was Hannah Narberg. Raise your hand here. 98.85. All right, we have a few girls missing because of other sports or illnesses right now, but when I call your name, please come on up and get your certificate. Frankie Gleason. Tiffany Ryan. Amy Van Hoven. Just go back to line. Lindsay Silfer. It's not here. Hannah Millis. Michelle Pfaff. Samantha Fischel. Jess Doran. Gabby Nicolini. Julia Benbenick. Samantha Roberts. Kelsey Hess. Hannah Narberg. Molly Stair. Liz Miles, not here. Kara Gannett. And Adriana Patzer. And Emily Norris. Is not here. And that's it.
Thank you, girls. Next, girls swim team, Coach Ranieri.
I'm Brad Ranieri. I'm the girls' varsity swim coach. I also assist the boys' team. And I'm real proud of our girls. I was reading an educational research journal the other day, and they say the longer you can hold your breath, the smarter you become. We must not have breathed too much this season because we had 27 swimmers qualify for the award. Scholar Athlete team average was a 96.2. First, Emily Brecklaw. Sabrina Chakowski. Carla Champagne. Rachel Sifarada. Julianne Copes Banks. Lindsay Dodge. Kelly Festa. Chloe Elizabeth Hall. Kelsey Haven. Meg Haggerty. Jordan Jasnuska. Kyla Langstaff. Emily Lennon. Kayla Messina. Juliana Malara. Catherine Miller. Maggie Morgan. Kimberly Morris. Olivia Orlando. Brittany Pratt. Bethany Reinbolt. Jessica Rodford. Brianna Ruffridge. Iga Shushpenik. Lauren Thorne. Brittany Tolhurst. Maya Worksman. Girls varsity swim team.
Girls, if you would go up and get your picture taken, please. Next up is boys soccer with Coach Ritter.
Hello, my name is John Ritter. I'm an assistant varsity coach. First, I would like to congratulate the boys for not only a great season on and off the field. They got league champions this year. They also were in the finals, and they had a grade point average of 93.4. We're very proud of you. Your parents are, your teachers, your coaches are, your school, and most importantly, your program is very proud of you. Now I'd like to call you up. Peter Girardi, Michael Schiatti, Charles Willard, Thomas Bartizel, Tyler Wittick, Anthony Baracco, Cody Bateson, Zachary Briggs, Tyler DeSenza, Sam Muir, Brian Bossinger, Colin McVaney, Jonathan Runge, Brian Sybil, TJ Sprague, and Evan Gackler. Congratulations.
Boys, if you'd head up for a picture. Thank you. Congratulations. Yeah, we'll get it. Next is girls varsity soccer. Coach Meg Kinney will be presenting.
Thank you. I am Megan. I'm the assistant coach, and I'm filling in for Jeremy, who is away. I'll call your names out. This is a great bunch of girls, and they work very hard on and off the field, so thank you to them. Emily Amato. Chloe Baraski. She's not here. Lauren Cusson. Jalen Del Biondo. I'm terrible with their last name. Sorry. She's not here. Lauren Diordio. She's not here. Megan Duffy. Alyssa Polinsky, which is also Allie. Samantha Foley. Justice Perez. Reed Gardner, Jill Getto, Meg Hart, Hannah Haven, not here, Alyssa Jim. Ava. This is our foreign exchange student. I can't say her last name. It took me half the season to say Ava. Stephanie Liberati. Chloe Long again. Mary Kate Orway. Marissa Rayo. Hannah Zumlos. Abigail Tolbert. Caitlin Wagner. Alexis Williamson. Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Good job, Meg. Next and last is Coach McAndrew with the varsity football team. Oh, I'm sorry. Coach McAndrew, come on up. You're up in football.
Hi, my name is Jack McAndrew, and first of all, I want to first thank publicly Mr. Bednarski, the superintendent, and the Board of Education for allowing me to step in this year as an interim coach. It was a challenging year, but it was a really good one, and one of the best things was I was exposed to players like this. I have the opportunity to introduce the Scholar Athletes for football. Okay. Their composite score was 92.9. And we're going to start with Mitch Dene. Jake Geloff, who is not here today. Arthur Barva. Jack Simmons, who is not here today. Mr. Rob Aker. Kyle Hale. Tyler Hemingway, who is not here, he's doing some homework. Steve Masur, who is also doing some homework. And Colin Sangster. Following Jared Hemingway, we Jake McCardle and Nick Cifarata. Ladies and gentlemen, the varsity football scholar athlete team.
And last but not least, Coach Nastasi and the cross-country team.
I'd like to recognize both the boys and the girls cross-country team here for Scholar Athlete status. We had 14 young ladies receive Scholar Athlete recognition with an average of 96.112, which is outstanding. I'd like to congratulate the ladies. And if you're here, please step forward so we can recognize you. Kristen Shug, Lauren Carr, Emily Dolan, Maria Lamontagne, Lexi Piro, Nicole Watrud, Savannah Stevens, Alexis Palomino, Jillian Norris, Tori Piro, Amanda Schumann, Taylor Perry, Caitlin Morris, and Jacqueline Halstead. Once again, outstanding job, ladies. On the boys cross country side, we had 15 athletes qualify for scholar athlete status with an unbelievable average of 97.031. Very impressive. Very impressive. If you're here, please stand forward. Rob Duclis, Anthony Lupia, Mike Wallen, Matt Crow, Ryan Assisi, Paul DeGennaro, Matt Kavanaugh, Kevin Chelfie, Colin Greensight, Matt LaPaglia, Andrew Berkland, Cameron Nichols, Mike Shug, Ryan Traub, and our high average of Andrew Salmons, 98.625.
Thank you.
Take care. We'll see you. I just want to make a comment. I was on a golf league this summer, and I didn't understand, but every time I got on Belmont, all the kids took off, but I don't understand that. All right. At this time, would all the participation in government students come up and get signed, please? Nobody got a laugh out of that? Like that? You can go to anybody here for your. Yeah.
Go to anybody at the table. You can all sign.
Thanks for coming tonight. Hey. Of course. Just like fourth grade, right? All right. What's today? 13th? 17th?
She's more prepared than I am. No, someone.
Hi, how are you? Oh, look at your brains. Awesome. Hey. What grade are you in?
My job is to look at it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm up there a lot. I don't know why I don't see you. Okay, I'll look for it. All right. I'm going to read this. You ready for comments from, no, Main Street, I'm sorry. Okay, our next presentation, look at that. Right there, Main Street Elementary. Early Ed program.
So last but not least, right? Those are some tough acts to follow. So as you know, I'm Dawn Hussein. I'm the principal at the North Syracuse Early Education Program. And I have a team of people with me tonight. I have Kate Lane and Shannon Knapp, who are representing the data team from Main Street, and Phil Clary, who is our BPT chairperson. I'd also like to thank our staff members at Main Street for their help in developing and implementing the plan that you'll be seeing tonight. And a special thanks to those who are in the audience tonight supporting Main Street. So this year, the district's strategic plan was helped us to further focus our efforts on improving student achievement. And you can see from this graphic representation that all students are impacted by our multidisciplinary team, the pre-kindergarten foundation for the Common Core, in addition to the teacher APPR process, community and parent involvement, and assessment. So as a combined effort with BPT and our data team, we've decided to focus on 3 main goal areas for our building improvement plan. So in line with the strategic plan, the first of our building goals is to ensure that all students will demonstrate measurable progress in developmental skills. Last year, we collected data building-wide using an assessment tool that was created by our data team. And although Albany was intrigued by our assessments and our ability to collect data, they suggested that we move to a more standardized approach. So not only would this data be helpful for school improvement, but it would also be helpful, hopefully over time, to support the need for 4410 programs, which is preschool special education programs like Main Street. So our school psychologists came together and really researched what type of testing tool that we would invest our money into. And while no test was perfect, they decided that we should invest in this speed dial testing. And the Friends of the North Syracuse Early Education Program was gracious enough to invest the money in purchasing classroom kits, which 12 classroom kits, and then enough test protocols to last us for a couple of years. We had numerous staff members who volunteered their time at the end of August to come in and test our children so that they would start the school year in September. The teachers would have some knowledge of the students before they started. So you can see from this little chart that we tested a total of 266 students, and we were able to separate the data out into 3- and 4-year-olds, disabled, and non-disabled children. This graph represents the initial testing results for the average of the total score, the standard score, and the percentile rank. And so we expect to see growth in these scores by the end of the school year, but also understanding that the expectations for performance will also increase as the students get older. So, kind of the bar is raised as they get older. Overall, our students performed in the low average range on this initial testing. And so from this total score, we decided to focus on 3 key areas that really honed in on the kindergarten readiness skills: color recognition, meaningful counting, and problem-solving skills. So we're going to benchmark those 3 areas in January, and then we're going to do a final test in June to compare these total scores and percentile ranks. So this graph represents the color identification, and you can see that pink was the most identified color. 83% of our students could recognize the color pink, and the least recognized color was gray at 41%, all the other colors falling in the middle. In the area of meaningful counting, about 85% of our students could count 1 item, 47% could count 3 items, 17% could count 7 items, and only 7% could count up to 11 items. So again, we hope to see some dramatic growth in this by the end of the school year. In the problem-solving component of the test, children are given different scenarios, some with just verbal descriptions and some having picture clues, and they're asked what to do in those type of situations. So they're able to earn up to 2 points for each response to the situation, and this graph just represents the average performance, most ranging right around 1 point. So we're hoping to get closer to that 2-point level. Fly. Okay, so for goal number 2, again in line with the district's strategic plan, the second building improvement goal is for parents and staff members to collaborate in order to strengthen a positive school culture. And so some of the ideas that kind of are under this goal that we're working on are as follows. The first is the Tele-Innovation Survey. We've taken our results from the survey that was given last summer to staff, and our school fell below the district average in 21 out of the 80 areas. So we're really going to be focusing with our BPT team to look at those 21 areas and see if there's things that we can do and put an action plan together to work on those. Kate Lane, my teacher next to me, has put together this Coffee Connection, the next item, which is a monthly forum where parents and staff members come together, and there is a certain topic of focus with a guest speaker. And so we've had an occupational therapist and a physical therapist presenting information, really just creating an area where parents can come and ask questions and really learn something useful that they can take home and use with their children. Teacher websites is an optional training that we're going to be doing with our staff members in January to try to get all of our teachers, with a web page and get our website current and up to date. Participation at school events, we've been tracking some of the turnouts that we've had at school events, and we don't really have past data to compare that to, but we're hoping to kind of look at that in the future. So, for example, back in October, we had 62% of our parents present at open house, and parent conferences this past month in November, 96% of our families came, which was a really great turnout. So again, without really having past data to compare it to, but looking forward and seeing what we can do to improve attendance. We also have created a parent survey using SurveyMonkey, which is 10 questions to find what our parents think of us and where they think we have areas to improve. And so we're going to be looking at, we've had 56 parents participate in that so far. So we're going to be looking at what those results are and seeing where parents feel we have areas of growth. And then some ongoing training for our staff members, DASA, Envoy, Responsive Classroom. Okay, our third goal, again in line with the strategic plan, our third goal for building improvement is for staff to move towards standards reference and then standards-based planning and instruction. So some of the focus areas that relate to goal number 3 are as follows. Our teachers and our therapists are working to align the pre-kindergarten foundation for the Common Core with our high-scope curriculum and really make it relevant to their teaching practice. Our teachers are fully immersed in the APPR process with the first round of observations complete for many of them. Shannon also has been very instrumental in bringing the idea of communities of practice into our building from what she's been researching during the LENS program. She's created a web-based site where our staff can share resources around topics of interest to them. We also plan to kind of wrap this up at the end of the year with a staff reflection and kind of gathering information of where does the staff feel we need to kind of guide our direction going forward for next year. And that basically concludes our BPT presentation for the Main Street, and I'm sure you look forward to hearing what our preschool data will hold for you in June. Do you have any questions that we can answer?
Anybody? Questions, comments? Anybody? Thank you, Dawn.
Great.
Thank you very,
Thank
very,
you.
very much. Okay, we have comments from the audience. I want to read a piece before the comments are given. The Board of Education meetings are meetings that are public is welcome to attend and observe. The North Syracuse Central School District Board of Education welcomes your comments on matters related to the district. A period of time not to exceed 30 minutes is set aside at every meeting of the board for the purpose of hearing comments from interested individuals. Board of Education members will not engage in conversation or answer any questions during this portion of the meeting. Issues involving particular students or employees are not permissible topics during a public meeting. Employee or student concerns should be addressed to the superintendent of schools during the regular business hours. We ask one speaker per line. Each speaker is allowed up to 3 minutes to present his or her remarks. There will be no more than 10 individual speakers allowed during this portion of the meeting, and you cannot give or defer your time slot to another person. All remarks must be addressed to the president of the board or the presiding officer. So at this time, we have a comment by Mr. Golombetsky. Oh, there's a microphone right there.
Mr. Crabtree, thank you. Superintendent, thank you.
Good evening. For the new board members who don't know me, my name is Bill Golombiewski. I'm here tonight once again to ask the board to make some serious changes to our football program. I've been accused by the Booster president of trying to sabotage this football program. If wanting a better program for my kids, all the kids, wanting what's best for our players is sabotage, then I'm guilty as charged. Trying to sell a story on how a program isn't a failure, that's what this head coach wants to do. The facts are the facts. In the packet that you guys have, I've made some for the new members. You can see year by year what the scores are, game by game, what the true records are as recorded by Section 3. On the cover page, you can see a picture of my son in the middle of the CNS football field 2 years ago after the Liverpool game. What's going through his head? And just so you know, he was crying at the time when we took this picture. Was it committed to excellence as displayed as on the side of the school that you can see from every part of the football field? It also says stop the insanity. I've said this before. Albert Einstein once said that insanity is the act of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. By allowing this football program to remain the same, are you expecting different results? I have also enclosed in the packet the front page of the Parents' Handbook is found on the CNS website. The number one program goal is to win. Well, one winning season in 10 years, and I won't count this season under Coach McAndrews. When will we start winning? When will we start to see different results? Number 2 says, put the student athlete at the heart of the program. Are you? Are you putting them at the heart of this program when you don't make these changes? Is the coach putting the players at the heart of the program when he's been asked repeatedly by different individuals to step down and refuses? The mission statement of the program says to instill our student athletes the fundamental attributes that will help them win on the field and succeed throughout life. Again, I ask, is this varsity program living up to its own mission statement? Under winning attributes, it says accountability. Does this staff show or display accountability when it's never their own fault that they lose? It's always the players, as told to me by the players themselves. Responsibility, by blaming others by making excuses, that it's the responsibility. Is this the responsibility we want to teach our players and our children? The integrity, the act of being whole, the act of being a team. There has been little integrity in the past couple of years. After all, losing takes its toll on a program. Over 30 players this past year, many of which were seniors, signed a petition to replace the head coach. These players were chastised by the coaches and Booster president. Yet it was the biggest show of integrity that this program has seen in a long time. Respect. In order to gain respect, you first need to give it. 36 players, 18 of which were seniors, signed a petition. They had to have coach removed. Does this show respect, trust, or dependability? Is it respect when a coach meets new players and refuses to shake their hand, saying they don't deserve it? That's what these players are faced with. And pride. Is this program something that the student athletes administrators can be proud of? The largest school district in Section 3, and we are 1 in 10. All these things, the program, the goals, the mission statement, and attributes, are all written by the head coach himself. This coach can't even live up to his own expectations. How do you expect our student athletes to look up or to respect him? In closing, again, I'm asking the board to do the right thing. If this individual is cleared on Thursday to come back to work, changes to this program must be made immediately. These players need to make choices as to what they want to do in the fall. I am also asking the board to seriously look into the actions of the Booster Club. I understand you have no rhyme or reason over the Booster Club. However, how did they allow a fired coach, fired by this board, to not only become a trustee of the football program, but also to speak at the banquet? This is nothing but a slap in the face to this board, superintendent, and the athletic director. When the president of the Booster Club is asked why this was done, she or nobody on her board will answer. She has yet to answer any emails forwarded by anybody in regards to this. I'm asking this board to make the tough decision and do the right thing that's necessary to make the changes to this varsity program. Under the mission statement in the parent's handbook, again, written by the head coach, it says, the fundamental attributes a person needs to be successful in life can be learned through participation in team sports. And I couldn't agree more. What are we teaching our kids by not making changes to this failing program? Thank you for your time.
Our next speaker is Mr. Erickson.
Hello, my name's Carl Erickson. Thank you for listening. I'm a taxpayer in the district. My wife works in the district. I have 2 kids that go to this district. And I'm here to talk about the CNS football program. First of all, Jack McAndrew did a great job this year. He was thrown into a position. It was a no-win situation. He knew that when he took the job. He did a great job. His record was the same as a head coach who had been there for 10 previous years the year before. Okay? You've been quoted all kinds of statistics by people about the winning and losing, the records and that type of stuff. You need to hear what I hear on a daily basis from the community as far as what the community thinks about the football program. I work in a job where I talk to a lot of people. I have contact with a broad number of people per year with my job. I talk to the people, and oftentimes we get into the subject of CNS football. And the comments that you hear from people about the program are unbelievable. An assistant coach from a Division I football team here in Syracuse, when I told him my son played for CNS, he kind of chuckled and he said, "I'm sorry." And I said, "Excuse me?" And he said, "The CNS football program is the laughing stock of Section 3. That's what he said. This is a Division I assistant football coach. I was doing a study on a Baldwinsville graduated senior football player who had gone up through the Baldwinsville program. We were talking about how great Friday night football games are. And I mentioned how it's nice to go to a rivalry game. And then I mentioned that my son plays for CNS. And this young man's comment was, "Oh, CNS? That's not a rivalry game. They suck." That was this young man's comment. That's what the community thinks in general about the CNS football program. We can't go another year. Okay, I keep hearing all kinds of rumors. Okay, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't do this. This program cannot go another year, okay, because it'll set the program back 3 years. The kids have had it. The 40 coaches that have quit have had it. The community's had it. You need to do something. You need to do the right thing for the kids. Participation in the summer camps is way down, and the 7-on-7 tournaments is down. The kids deserve more than this. The day after the JV football season ended on a Thursday, there was a dozen JV players in the weight room that Friday afternoon working out to get ready for the season next year. A head coach needs to inspire their players. This head coach does not inspire his players. Thank you for listening.
Our next speaker is Mr. Perigo.
My name is John Perigo, and my son attends the high school. And there's 4 people up on this board right here that have been introduced to the situation that I'm in with him. 2 situations. First situation is that I'm a parent that is outside of this district that gets absolutely no information of what happens inside this school district even with court-ordered papers given to them. That is a problem to me, which also pertains to my second problem. My second problem is your weapons policy. I understand, with all the recent things we've had going on in the schools, about weapons policies. My concern, though, Dr. Dice, is that when a child is found to be totally in no possession of a weapon, what is the process at that point of exonerating him of that charge? Because what happens is, as soon as he is charged with that charge, automatically it stays on his record until a parent has to go to several meetings in order to get this exonerated off of his record. Please understand that if this child is to continue a future in military or anything else, his school record is looked upon. Now, Dr. Dice, I have brought it to your attention in several emails, again, which have not been returned. I have met with your staff to make a decision of no weapons that was found. I am also asked for a documentation from this whole district as to whom was involved. I have not gotten any answers because nobody in this building has my information as a parent of a child in this district. And that is a concern to me, as well as it should be to every parent behind me. I came to this meeting because I was told to. I was told to by 2 administrators to come to this meeting to point my case out. I also was told to come to this meeting by Principal Julian, to come to this meeting to exonerate my son. I came here today as I was told from an out-of-district home. I come and I present my question. My question is told, the answer is told, to go to another meeting. Now, my son has been charged with no weapon. In the eye of the law, my son is innocent. In this school district, though, my son is being condemned for only speaking of the fact that, yes, he may have a weapon on him because he might have left it in his bag. That weapon, when he was charged, was sitting in my home, 20 miles from here. You cannot tell me that that weapon was in possession of my son. But yet my son is being condemned, has served 5 days detention for not having a weapon. I had to go to a meeting to get that shortened to 3 days of him still being out. My son is a special education student at this school. There is absolutely no difference of how you tolerate special education children with weapons in this school either. My son has a disability. He has an IEP with this school district. Not one of that was touched. I also would like to say that 4 of the people that were in the pyramid of seniority to bring this to the attention of the school district are sitting right here on this board. You, Dr. Dice, never returned my emails. You, Dr. Dice, told me to pretty much go ahead and get a lawyer and take care of it. I would like to know why. Thank you for your time.
All right, there are no more comments. We'll move on to board committee reports. Are there any committee reports from any of the committees? A reminder, tomorrow is the legislative committee. We'll be meeting at 6 o'clock at the district office, the large conference room. Don will give an update on the budget, where we are, and we're fortunate to have Jody Manning from OCM BOCES, who will come in and present what he sees, what will be happening at the state level. And I would say if any other board member that's not on the committee would like to come tomorrow night, it should be an interesting meeting. It would be interesting if you came to that meeting. Are there any comments from the school board members? Any comments? Sandy?
Number of comments. Again, referencing the events of this last Friday. I think that, well, let me start with perhaps something to bring to the attention of the Legislative Committee. When a bomb was found in someone's shoe, we changed the way we look at airline travel, and all of us take our shoes off. There have been repeated incidents of violence with assault weapons and with weapons that do far more destruction than hunting or protection of one's home should do. And I think it's time for us to appeal to our legislators to look at gun control. And I'm not challenging anybody's right to own a weapon and to keep it in their home and to secure it properly and to use it for protection of that home. Or for someone, and this is an area where we have a lot of people who enjoy hunting, you don't need an assault weapon to hunt. You don't need ammunition that can do so much damage to an individual or to an animal that the purpose of hunting is totally destroyed. And what I'm asking is that we, as a group, as a board, as a community, appeal to our legislators to look at reinstating the ban on assault weapons and also the sale of clips that contain more than 8 rounds of ammunition. No necessity for that other than with our police and our military.
Sandy, would you do me a favor and send me an email with that information, and I certainly will take it up with the legislative committee.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? I just wanted to see. Oh, go ahead, Kay.
One of them being Roxborough Road Middle School. I understand that the door opening at Roxborough Road Middle School is now in the back of the building. It's also locked, which is a good thing because of what happened last Friday. The parents accepted the fact that it was locked and someone had to let them in. But my understanding is when you file the papers to use the facility, the door is open somehow. There was also an event going on in the auditorium, and that door was also locked. But again, because of what happened on Friday, they felt that we were acting in good faith to keep the doors locked. I'd like that investigated as to how people with facilities use form know that the doors are going to be locked and they need to have someone there. The next issue is substitutes. My understanding is that, especially because there's been so much sickness and stuff, their teachers, I don't know whether they're, what happened was a teacher was supposed to be there and never showed up. So maybe the system is not correct. I'm not sure how this new system works. It's not new anymore. It's a couple years old. But I'd like that investigated to make sure we have enough substitute teachers to take care of the kids. This one, what happened was they took a reading teacher and put her in the classroom for that day because there was no coverage. Okay, now let's get to the substitute custodians. Number one, we've got the flu running through everything. We've got kids sick, and there's no substitute custodians. I've been to CNS I don't know how many times being told that they're 3 short. There was no subs available. Not sure how the other schools are. I just know how CNS is. That's inexcusable. There's too many germs going around. The custodians need their be in the schools to take care of that, to clean it, to make sure the germs are gone. I'm at wit's end. I have no clue as to why you can't get substitutes. That's all.
I just wanted to make a comment with it being the season holiday of what people are doing in our community, in our schools. I've witnessed this week what each of our elementary, high school, junior high, there isn't a school or classroom that isn't doing something special for somebody in this community. I'm just going to give some examples. The Builders Club at the junior high, right here at this building, they are baking cookies for over 300 people at Meals on Wheels that will be delivered this Friday. That's awesome that a club in this school is helping the community. Our social workers have gone beyond this week. Hundreds and hundreds of gifts have been given by schools, by clubs, by organizations in our community that filled up the NSCA office the other night. You had to be there to see it. The food that has been brought in throughout the school district for our needy students. This is for our district, not outside our district, for our district. I'm just going to give you an example of one family where the students attend CNS. Last year, they were homeless. They did not have a home, this family. Secondly, they lost a grandfather that they were very close to. When the social worker went to the house, there wasn't more than 3 pieces of furniture. These are the kind of homes that we don't believe are here in North Syracuse, but they are. And we have amazing teachers and amazing students who are collecting hundreds and hundreds of things. They should be praised for what they do. And they don't stop at the holiday, Melissa, at your school. They do it every month. It's an amazing community that we live in. Amazing teachers, amazing students. It's awesome. And I wanted to make sure that the board knew the types of things that our students and our teachers are doing. It's just amazing. Any other comments? All right, we're moving on to routine items A, B, C, D. Oh, I am so sorry, Dr. Dice. No, I apologize. You sure? All right, routine action items A, B, C, D, and E. Are there any questions about anything, the business office reports? Are there any questions? Sandy?
Motion taken as a group.
Okay, Sandy, a second. Scott, all those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Our next item is a discussion item, tax collection procedures. Don, do you want to talk about that?
Yes, the report that was given to the board indicates that our tax collections are actually doing better than they have in the last several years. We've always had a good collection process here in the district. Our uncollected balances as of this time are less than 6% of the total levy, and we're recommending that they be submitted to the county for collection. And as you probably are aware, the county will remit those funds to the district and then proceed with a formalized collection process to collect the balance.
All right. Do I have a motion? Are there any questions for that? Do I have a motion to acknowledge the final property tax from the town collectors from the towns of Clay, Cicero, and Salina, and direct that the listing of uncollected taxes be forwarded to the Onondaga County Treasurer for reimbursement? A motion. Michael, second. Patrick, all those in favor? Motion carried. B, approval of the Civil Service Employees Association, North Syracuse Central School District, Local 1000, AFSCME, AFL-CIO, Local 874, Unit 7811-02 for their contract. Annette, would you want to say anything? Don's going to say.
I can just comment that's our M&O employees, and I'm happy that we're considering their contract tonight, or you're considering their contract tonight. They have it's been a long negotiation process, but at the end of the day, our M&O unit agreed to the same basic terms and conditions that our teachers did, and so I'm very appreciative of that.
Any questions for Don about the contract? Do I have a motion to approve the contract? Michael D'Onofrio, second. Pat Sabota, all those in favor of this contract? Any opposed? Motion carried. Resolution to amend the North Syracuse Central School District 403B retirement plan. Do I do you see that?
Yes, the 403B plan, there's a slight amendment to it in order to have the plan conform with the requirements of the Heroes Earnings Assistance and Relief Act of 2009, that's HART, and the Workers Retiree Employer Recovery Act of 2008. Our administrator recommended that we make these changes. To give you some perspective, the HART amendment basically provides some additional benefits for military personnel, and it's something that's recommended that we do, and it's obviously good for our employees with military, any type of military service.
Any questions, comments? A motion to approve this? A motion? Michael, second. Scott, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Acknowledgement of a gift. The CNS Touchdown Club donated $1,000 to the North Syracuse Central School District to pay for 2 students for the work with videoing for the football program. Second gift, Mr. Richard Calway donated various tools valued at $1,225, which will be used by students enrolled in woodshop and engineering classes at the Cicero North Syracuse High School. In addition, students participating in the Science Olympiad and the CNS High School Engineering Club will be able to utilize the donated tools to help develop and complete projects for the respective competitions. I know if Mr. Carbone was here, he would tell us that many of these gifts are needed with the budget situation, and we really welcome these kinds of gifts. So, any questions about the 2 gifts? A motion to approve the 2 gifts. Sandy DiBianco, second by Patrick Sabota. Approval of the acknowledgement of these gifts. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Do we need an executive session to discuss personnel items listed on our agenda? Anybody need to go to executive? Well, you guys are great. Before we go on, I want to talk about a couple of retirements. 2 retirements that we have received. Calvin Dykeman, bus attendant, retires with 20 years of service. And Diane Faulkner, custodian worker 1 at Roxborough Road Middle School, retires with 36 years of service. When I was a very young teacher, Diane Faulkner was one of the custodians in the building that I worked at. An awesome custodian. And God bless her, 36 years in our school district. Do I have a motion to approve instructional personnel A and to recommend personnel B as submitted? Scott, second. Sandy, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. At this time, the board members will have an opportunity to make a motion to go in executive session for the purpose of receiving an update on negotiations with the district's directors bargaining unit, the teacher assistant bargaining unit, and principals bargaining unit, to review 1 legal matter relative potential litigation, and to review the employment record of 2 individuals with no action to follow. A motion? Michael, a second. George, all those in favor? Meeting adjourned, and we are done.